Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a GeekVerse review. My name is Travis Snail, the boy wonder. Usually we do the nickname beforehand. I am here to review the first episode of Titans. Before we get in that, I just have some housekeeping. November 3rd is approaching very quickly. The details will be in the link below, whether you're watching on YouTube or any of our podcast services. Our 24-hour charity stream for Extra Life is coming up. We're trying to raise $1,000 for BC Children's Hospital. If we do that, we're going to shave 1, 2, 3 people's heads. We got a lot of stuff planned. We have a tournament. We have Raw or Not, which is a spin-off show where they do punishments towards each other. We have Hunka Hunka. Speaking of Titans in DC, those lovers and fanboys, they're going to be there. Our spin-off podcast, they're going to be interesting. They're going to be meeting a few people for the first time. We got title matches for our gaming league. We got lots of stuff planned. It's going to be a really fun night. But honestly, come watch, and if you can donate November 3rd, I made up a day. November 3rd, please do, because it's going towards a good cause. Last year we hit our goals, 500, and we got 550,000. You know, it's a lot for just 6 little old people in Kelowna. So we're hoping you guys can help us out. We're hoping November 3rd. Tune in, and if you can't donate, if you can, even if it's just $1, that helps. Like, honestly, last year, some people did that, $1, $5, it helps. It helps us any little bit, helps towards get our goal, and then even then, hopefully we hit our goal, but if not, all this money is still going towards BC Children's Hospital, so it's not like, if we don't hit it, nothing goes. Like, anything you donate is going towards a really good cause, and if you can't, whether it's now until November 3rd, please just like or share or spread the links. Definitely come watch November 3rd, even if you can't donate, but share those links, because if you can't donate, maybe someone will. And even if someone else can just share out there, the wider can get is better. So November 3rd, 24-hour stream, 9 a.m. PST is when we're starting, and it's going to be 24 hours of just madness, and it's going to be a good time. So please check it out, and please donate, like I said. And if you donate $1,000, I'm going to be shaving my head bald. I do not want to. I'm enjoying my long hair right now. I decided I was going to grow it out. But last year I said, I'll go next year. I didn't time it out the greatest. And honestly, speaking of Titans, I grew it up because of Bruce Wayne, and it's looking not the greatest right now. It's very early here at 6:30 in the morning here in Kelowna, in Canada, and I guess it's probably why I'm a little loopy. What else was there? Reviews this weekend. Check out our Venom review last week. Bad Times El Royale is dropping later today. Well, the First Man review and Apostle review. Apostle's a big movie coming to Netflix, so that's what we're going on this weekend. Let's talk about Titans. If you've not joined us for a review at all, I'll start non-spoilers and then get into spoilers. I don't think it's going to be a long review. It's a 50-minute episode. I have one little rant, but I will talk... I guess I could do the rant before... I'll do the rant before spoilers, because it's kind of somewhere in the middle, and it's not really that much of a spoiler because they revealed it in trailers. So Titans, obviously DCs streaming services, or DCs Universes, I'm so not used to calling it that, their flagship show, I would say, because they're premiering with it. They've been talking about it for a while. Obviously, Comic-Con trailer premiere got a lot of mixed reaction. The pilot was better than I was expecting, because all the shows I've seen, all the scenes I had seen are... from the trailers and TV spots, did not push me one way or the other of being, this is going to be really good or this is going to be really bad. If I had to lean anyway, I would lean to more the words of I didn't think this was going to be the greatest. And even then, I didn't think it was going to be, I don't know how to say this without offending fans, but the highest quality. The Arrowverse. I'm a big fan. I watched Arrow, I fell off. I gotta get back into it. I watched Legends of Tomorrow, I fell off. Never was really into Supergirl. I have not checked out Black Lightning, because Black Lightning I thought was going to be just your average old another Arrowverse show. But people say it's above that. And then Flash, which I still watch. I fell a bit behind, but I'm catching up on the new season right now, so I can jump on this one. They have an aesthetic and they have a feel all very... I can't talk about Black Lightning, so I'll take Black Lightning out. All the rest of the shows have aesthetic and a feel that work for those shows, and some of them are really good, and they've produced some really great episodes. I think Flash Season 1 was one of the best superhero shows. Honestly, it just was a very well done, put together package from start to finish. But the thing is, they have like a bar, and sometimes that's because budget reasons, and also it just kind of feels like, I don't want to say junk food comic book, because it's not, but it has that CW feel. It's the same thing as Riverdale. It has that very teen, young adult sort of feel, And I'm not the biggest fan of that. I watch it because, you know, I enjoy these heroes in the comic books, especially Flash is one of my favorites. So, and Flash, to me, that's the one that works the best, where Arrow sometimes suffers from being a bit too, you know, YA or something like that. And from the trailers, I kind of had got that vibe as well, that that was going to be the case. Obviously, a lot of young teens, and there's kind of a lot of angst going on. It's not as bad as that. It's not that it's as bad as that. I mean, like, it's, and this isn't meaning to be positive. It took me by surprise that it felt more adult, even though we're dealing with pretty much just two younger characters. We do meet, and here's a minor spoiler, we meet Starfire and we get about, I'd say, 2 to 3 scenes with her, and then we meet Beast Boy in one scene, and it's nothing. So this pilot mostly focuses on Raven and Robin. Alliteration, folks. And I thought they set her up well, because the other thing is, too, this is a really good example of someone seeming really bad in a trailer and having to be fed trailer lines, whether they cut them or whether they made her redub them. Because in the trailer, I'm like, this girl looks like she's an awful actress. And I don't like to try and shut that up. They're bad, go, they're not the greatest unless it's something really bad. Hunka hunka. She was really good, and I liked the story. Like I said, I won't get into spoilers. I liked her story and her meeting up with Robin. That all worked. And the vibe, and that's what I mean, the feel was not the young adult. It had young adults in there, but it felt more darker. It felt more almost like a let me in sort of vibe. It had more of a horror edge to it. Do I want that necessarily for Titans? I don't know. That's the problem, but it did have a different feel than the CW shows. So I appreciate that, because one, I like CW shows, but I'm not in love with them, so I'm down for a different flavor, just like with how we have DC movies, Marvel movies, and Fox movies. Like, I like that, you know, Logan, BVS, Civil War, you know, they're all very different comic book movies. They have different feel and vibe, and this had that, so I appreciate that. I'm not sure how I feel on the horror aspects. I like Raven kind of having some horror aspects, but even like the title sequence to this was just, it felt very like spooky in a way. I know that sounds weird, but when you watch it, you'll see it's just the music and the way it was shot, and it's very dramatic. That has a lot in common with the CW shows. It's very dramatic. The pacing was good, but here's the thing. So the pilot, I'll use one example that's Marvel, but then I'll use two others that aren't, so people don't, you know, oh, you can't compare them. You can't. They're two comic book companies. Jessica Jones, Breaking Bad, Dexter. To me, the thing those three have in common, and those are ones that just sprung to mind because I was going to use some other ones, but I'm just keeping it to one comic book show. Those are pilots that came in, they kick down the door, and they punch you right in the face, and they go, you're going to watch this show until we really screw up, you know? Dexter. Even Jessica Jones. But they have you. They have you by the collar. This pilot is good, but it's nothing that I would need to go tell my friends or the other GeekVerse people, hey, you need to go spend the $7-8 for the DC Universe app. I have the app right now. I canceled it because I was not using it. I had a long enough subscription to get, I think, the first 2 episodes of Titans. If I really like them, I will come back on board. But right now, I'm in the mode where I like what I saw, but I could wait until the end of the season and just spend an $8 and watch the whole thing. I don't know, and that's where hopefully second episode, and that's the thing, a show needs a few episodes to really get going at times, but that's where when you're having to spend money, it has to really pull you in that first episode. I like what I had. Like I said, I like the adventure with Raven, that she has to get to Detroit. She meets up with Rob, and like I said, I'm trying to be very minor spoilers here, and that's pretty much what you've seen in the trailer. And she's dealing with something, okay? I think you know what it is. And then Robin, I like what they are. I like the. I think his name was Brandon. I don't even know how to pronounce the name. Last name is like Thietz or Thietz. I don't know. But Brandon, the guy who's playing Robin, really good. I like. He has the essence of Robin. I think the show has some dialogue problems. There's times where the show feels like very ground realistic, and then there's times where it feels like the voiceover is from like the Batman Arkham games, where they're just like, oh, the bat, like, hope you don't come out tonight. Like, it feels very unnatural. Robin and a certain character have a scene, which I'll talk about in spoilers, where the dialogue was, and the whole scene, the way it was set up, was very in your face and not subtle at all. And it just did, and it's not even a big scene, it's just a scene where, to me, it's a big scene where he's talking about some vital information. The way it comes out and how he shares it did not feel like Rob, because for the most, in this show that they've set up, because he's very dark and broody, the whole show he's not really talking to anybody, and he's a cop, he's not really talking to anybody, he's almost a lone wolf. And then this character like asks him like, one thing and he just opens up like a fucking book. Yeah, everyone has their bad days, but it just didn't match with what they set up. I didn't see enough from Starfire or Beast Boy to be like, I really like them, I really don't. I really liked Robin, and I really liked Raven. I was surprised. Like I said, Raven and me and those trailers were not that good. I think it is a good, solid pilot. I think this is a show that you will not know until 4 to 5 episodes if this is a great show, if it has potential to grow, or if it's just a good show. If the bar stays at this, I think it's fine, but the problem is it doesn't stand out. In a world where we have, 6, 7, 8 superhero shows, and then we have at least usually 6 movies a year. Now, as fans, we get to pick and choose. It's not like back in the day when you had that Birds of Prey TV show, and even though it got canceled, but it's like all you had was just to watch that because you're just dying for anything comic book wise. Now we kind of have our fill. It's like the same way as comic books. If you're a reader, there's hundreds of comic books out there. I'm behind on so many comic books, and that's the thing. I have to pick and choose. I go with what people recommend. I go with writers I like, or I keep with certain characters. And now with media, film and TV, maybe video games one day, we kind of have to pick that way as too. And that's where I can say this is good, but this is as far as my ending of my spoilers. Actually, you can wait because I'm going to get into one little rant that's kind of non-spoilery. I'll try to walk the edge, but the end of my rant is here, or the end of my recommendation here is it's good. You can watch the pilot, and if you really enjoy these characters, or if you love Robin like myself, then you're being along for the ride. But if you have to pay for it, that I don't know. It's good enough, but I don't think it's a way where this stands above the rest and something where I need to pay monthly for it. Like I said, me paying $7, $8 in 2 months and the whole season's done, I can justify that. Paying 3 to 4 months, I don't know if it's worth it for that. And because lots of the DC Universe content I have all the comic books, I have all the movies already on Blu-ray, so for me, it's not really worth it. And that's the thing. If this pilot was fantastic and kicked the door down, then great. Or if it was binge, then great. I would have a better idea of the series. But as a series as a whole right now, I think it could still go either way, but I'm very much more positive on it. I quite enjoyed the acting in this for the most part because I was kind of getting ready. Even Starfire was really good from the times I saw her. From the trailers, they just made them look not the greatest. CGI in the show, not good. Really not good. But I don't really get too mad about that in TV shows. I understand it's a TV show budget. Even Game of Thrones, when people go on and on about how it's like movie quality, I don't think it is. I think it's the highest TV quality CGI we can get, and I think at times it is, but there's still times where that dragon does not look real. There's still times where Jon Snow's clearly on a fucking green screen in the Battle of the Bastards, and it looks very cheesy, like for me, but I can look past that. The same way of certain movies, like when they're really dated, I can get past that effects and whatnot, as long as the story's there. And the story looks like it's interesting right now. So here's where I can get into my little rant. I'll get into some quick spoiler stuff, and then I'll get out of here and give you a... And I guess for non-spoilers, I give the episode like a 7.5. I enjoyed it. It was really good. I would like to see more of this world, but I don't need to be watching weekly of it. I really like the Robin stuff. The pacing of the episode was, I think, good. There's a little times where it was a little slow. I think they could have chopped off 5 minutes, like Beast Boy's introduction. I don't know if they could have saved, but I think they just did that for fan service, because fans would have been like, where's Beast Boy? So I understand that, water break. You gotta, feel those fanboys and fangirls. So, other than that, I'm trying to think. The last thing about pacing in the most non-spoiler way is Starfire's not in this episode that much, so the way they integrate her in it feels like a little, it's a little jolting to me because the whole show is just Robin and Raven for the first half an hour, 35 minutes, and then it's just like a bunch of Starfire stuff, and then they kind of go back to Robin and Raven. So maybe I'm wrong on my times there, but that's just the way it felt. It is early, so forgive me. So my little rant here is, because we get a little bit of backstory on it, I won't say specifically, but the reason, and this is, if you want really no spoilers at all, then tune out, but this is just to talk about how they're handling Batman. And they've talked about this in trailers, and I gotta look up how to say it's a fucking name. Brand Flatties, Robin had talked about earlier this week about what they're doing with Batman and Robin's relationship. And this is my rant, and like I said, I won't spoil stuff that's talking about the show specifically, but I'll kind of reference it. Robin, in this episode, all we get so far is a conversation about, he's a cop, and they just say that he didn't, and this happens in the first 5 minutes, that he doesn't want a partner, and something bad must have happened to his partner. And I really like this. This is a minor spoiler again, but it's a really fun shout out. Someone goes, because he's in Detroit now, and some cop's like, oh, I guess he might have been gassed by the Joker. Really nice touch. I like that we may never see these other characters like Batman and Joker, etc. But I like that there's that world out there, that they are still hinting towards it. So I like that. And obviously we live in a world where there's all this continuity and big universe, but still the fact that it's happening, I like it. And even if we never see the Joker or anything like that, I like that, just little jokes like that to kind of flesh out the universe. So this big idea that he doesn't want a partner, and he has a conversation with somebody about why he doesn't want a partner, and it's very at this point it's very kind of shadowy, like us only knowing the relationship of Robin and Batman could put it together. Uh, so Robin, the actor, and then in the show it's implied, and we haven't got to the episode where it's confirming that, but I guess it's maybe always going to be implied that the reason that Batman and Robin are broken up is because Batman's a cold-blooded killer. And to me, and I guess I should have mentioned this maybe in non-spoilers as well, but for me, even in the show, my problem as well is Robin has that fight scene they showed in the trailer, which I love that they were like, oh yeah, the fuck Batman makes a lot more sense and context in the actual show. It's like the exact same fucking scene. He lands, where's the Batman? He fights a bunch of guys, fuck Batman. And it's not like someone set him up for that line. It's not like we found out about him and his problems with Batman and then he said that later on the show. No, it's like the exact same thing. So that kind of makes me go, okay, like it's not... That's the thing. I enjoy the show, but I don't think it's going to have that much depth. I think it's going to be very surface level, and to me, the idea of it being surface level is the fact of how do we break them up? Batman's a killer and Robin has a problem with it. Okay, which is kind of strange because I get he was kind of taught that way, but Robin's like particularly brutal in this episode. I don't think he actually kills anybody. Someone gets shot with a gun, but he kind of ducks. There's one moment where he stabs something into some guy. It could have been his neck, but it wasn't anything like that trailer where it showed him like stepping on a guy's neck and breaking anything like that. So it's kind of like the jury's out, but really I'd say he's not killing people. But at one moment he breaks a car window and he takes the guy's face and he runs it over the glass. And it's like, for me, that's just not my Robin, and that's where I'll get into like the not my Batman. For me, Batman being a killer, it's just super lazy, and it just to make that. And I felt the same way too when we thought Robin might be the killer. It's just super lazy. You can have that as a struggle and something they were trying to get away with. Again, I'll make the comparison. I'll make the comparison both times. You got Daredevil TV show and The Dark Knight with Batman. Two characters that are morally having a rough time because they're being pushed to the very limits of what they are willing to do. I've not seen Daredevil season 3, but 1 and 2, and then Batman with, that's a common theme of, you're going to break your one rule. And yes, Daredevil at one point, maybe he's a little violent, but to me, that's that character. And even then, with Daredevil and Batman, even The Dark Knight, you can make argument in Begins and Rises that he may kill some people. I understand that. Superhero vigilantism, it's going to happen. And I'm not defending that Batman's never killed anyone in the Dark Knight series because, if you have some clips, there's some times where it's like, I don't know how that guy survived it. But to me, there's a difference of collateral damage and then going out there and just fucking branding people. And this feels like it's in the DCs Universe. Like, honestly, it could be, and maybe they should just say that. Branding people or being brutal, to me. That's the thing where that made Batman and Robin, to me, different characters, especially Robin. Because to me, he was always the moral compass. He, to me, never really in the comics, my Batman, or my Robin always felt like he could have a dark side, but it never got as bad as Batman's. He could be the moral compass, and Batman was always the one struggling with it a lot more. And then you have something like Daredevil, where they struggle with it, but they are more on the brutal side of a character, but they don't cross that line. Where to me, Batman and Robin, Batman has brutal moments, he can be scary and be intimidating, he can hurt you, but I never felt of Batman, for the version I enjoy, of him breaking arms and limbs is something different. When it's something like, rubbing a guy's face on glass and stuff like that, I don't know. It was the way it was shot, it was just very glorified, so I understand Robin. I'm even fine with Robin and Batman going to the very, nth degree. And if Robin wanted to be brutal like this, then fine. But it's a fact of because it's kind of come from killing, that's the problem. It's a lazy way, which I was trying to get back to, is there's so many ways you could break up Robin and Batman. To me, whether it's just Robin going on his own, one of my favorite is, I think from the animated series, is when Robin, Batman knew that Batgirl was Barbara and he didn't tell him, and there's this big thing, things like that. I guess there's kind of a version like that. Not Batman, the new animated series where Batman and Batgirl sleeping together. Let's not talk about that. Yeah. But there's many reasons. One, either you could think of some original, or there's many ways in the comics that they've broken out that this is sufficient. This works. The whole he's a killer now, it's just lazy, and it would have been lazy too. So they didn't do it with Robin, but still, I thought they were going that route of just how's he gonna struggle? Well, he's gonna kill a bunch of people, and then his struggle is gonna be I'm not gonna kill people. And man, I'd really like to kill people again. I don't watch Batman and Robin, not the movie. I don't watch these characters for Punisher-like aspects. You know, I watch, and yes, Robin doesn't. He's not the one killing, but to me, them not getting Batman and that breaking of the relationship to me feels so off. That makes me not that excited for the rest of the show. That makes me go, okay, that's I mean, it's all very surface level. Instead of getting something character nuance and something deep with Robin and Batman, just simply that he wanted to be on his own. He was tired of this guy holding him down, and it's like the classic big brother, little brother, father-son dynamic. But no, it just has to be like Batman's a cold-blooded killer. He was going too far, and he like to use his fists, and I couldn't beat him. It's just like. It's so lazy. It's so simple, and it's unimaginative. It's unoriginal. It's just we've done that before. Think of something, and to me, it's that bringing down one character to raise another. I'm somebody that now doesn't eat meat. I'm a pescatarian, and for me, I love pizza stuff. Melted cheese is like my fucking jam. So on a pizza nowadays, you think of some at Domino's. I got a pan pizza because that's the best. I got my cheese, I get some feta, I get some tomato, double, and then onions. And then that's my pizza. For me, the way Batman, like a BBS, and the way this is, why I can never fully enjoy it is because I enjoy those characters being adapted. And yes, Batman, everyone can say, Batman killed in the past, he used to use a gun. That was the past. To me, the version that has stayed true, the version that's most popular, the version that everyone refers to and loves, is the version where he is not Punisher-like. Because if I want to see a hero killing people, I'll go watch and read Frank Castle because he's a motherfucking badass. I don't look at Batman being motherfucking badass. He can be very cool and a badass at times, but not in a way of like murdering people. And for me, if a character is not adapted correctly or a storyline, like kind of what's happening with Titans, I can never fully engage and enjoy it. So back to the pizza, it's like if I ordered that pizza and then Domino's was like, yeah, but we're gonna put meat on that for you, and I go, sorry, I like this pizza the way it is. No, we really think you'd enjoy the meat. No, it's fine. Yeah, but you used to eat meat. Like you used to have it on there. Yeah, but I found that I prefer this better for my lifestyle and taste. I don't eat it. Yeah, but like a long time ago you ate meat, so we're gonna put it on there. And it's like, okay, and then you get it and you eat it and you're like, I'm enjoying this pizza, but I'm not enjoying it as much as I could. And that's the way with Batman. It's just like, yeah, for people to go, he used to kill. Yeah, the fucking 40s when Bob Kane was like stealing people's ideas and not giving people credit. Like when so long ago when the character's not involved, and I get it. Sure, if you want to take this not this minor, but if you want to take this small run of the character of when he was a murderer, fine, But also to me, when he's a murderer, it just makes him look dumb, because it's like, in this universe and in BVS, it's like, why the hell is the Joker still alive? He'll kill everybody, but you'll not kill this guy who's like the worst. It's just hypocritical and makes the character seem stupid, and it's just lazy. And I'll see how it evolves, but that's where, for me, with Titans, it's I like what they're putting out, but I don't love it, and I don't love it enough for me to be like, yeah, I need to keep trucking along. So now I'm going to full spoilers, but there's not going to be much. It's just a few notes and whatnot. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think... the spoilers that I refer to... I'm trying to think. That I already didn't. I liked Raven and the mom's relationship. I'm sorry. Once again, spoilers. If you don't want to get into any specific episode, turn it down. Sucks she died, but it was a good, motivator. But that was really good. The Raven CGI at times was all right, but that scene where she kills the guard or the bad guy at the end, very brutal, where she just goes into like air form, goes down the guy's throat, and then comes back up. That was cool. The scene I was referring to that was really awkward was Robin and his partner. So he gets assigned a partner at the Detroit police officer, whatever. I don't know what it would be. I don't know. DPD. He gets assigned a partner, and the first scene is, he doesn't really want a partner. Second scene is he says something to her, and she just goes like, is everyone dead around here? And he's like, what do you mean? Well, you don't really talk to me. It doesn't make sense. And like, okay, that's fine, setting it up. But then the next scene we get to them together is just like they're outside, and she says something, and it's just like, hey, what happened? It's pretty much, I can't remember the exact line, but it's pretty much if she just came up and said, "Hey, the script really wants me to tell you about your partner, but be shady about it." There's no setup for it all. There's no context, and it felt very off place as far as Robin in this show. It seemed like, or Dick Grayson seemed like he's not opening up to anybody. He's keeping it himself. But he's at this is his second conversation with this woman, and he's not talking about Batman, but he is. He's talking about this guy who used to use his fist, the guy who was looked at a hero, and I grew up with him, but I didn't want to become him, blah blah blah. And he's just opening up, and it felt like exposition to the heavy, like. Wait a couple episodes. I'm somebody, of course, that wants to know more about the Raw and Batman dynamic in this show because I love those characters. I love Dick Grayson. But wait till that can actually pay off. Wait till it feels natural. This did not feel natural at all for him just to be monologuing about his partner. And the way she brought it up did not feel natural at all. And the show has many times like that where it does flow, but there's times that took me out where it's like, this dialogue, not the greatest. Doesn't really see fit. And there's even one line too. So like when Raven gets to the police station in Detroit, they I guess she gets brought in for like vandalizing a cop car or something, and these cops walk in and they see Dick and they're like, "You got a thing for helping kids, right?" But they don't. The way the actress delivers the line, you don't know if she's being serious or sarcastic, and not even sarcastic, but in a way like, "Oh, you got anything for helping kids? Like you deal with their." Like, they didn't make a sense of, like, can she not get through to Raven and she needs to take help? Or is it just like, I'm not dealing with kids, you deal with it? It was just, like, the most bland, like, line read ever. And that's where I think the main cast is good, but some of the side, like, the bodyguards, the cops, very bland. Very just, like, mean potatoes, just, like, no taste at all. Just, like, you got a thing for helping kids, right? And then cut to scene of him helping, right? And the show does feel, I'm talking about Raven, she has these flashbacks or just dream sequences of the Graysons. The show does feel a little lower budget, but that's fine. But there's many times where that feel like there's a lot of emptiness going on, a lot of sound stages. I'm trying to think of anything else. I like Starfire's look when she did get her powers going. That looked good. Like I said, I like the actress. I like the setup of she has amnesia and doesn't really know what's going on. She just woke up in a car with a dead body, and she was trying to find Raven. I'm not sure if she was doing that for good or the character before was maybe trying to hurt her. So I liked her little venture going on. It reminded me, taking the amnesia part out. It reminded me of like Magneto in First Class. So that was fun. She just went to a few different locations, taking people out and stuff like that. I really like that. The scene with Beast Boy was fine. That's another time with CGI's. It's gonna be tough when Beast Boy was being Beast because that is like the tiger did not look not look the greatest, but he stole some video games. Okay, that's kind of fun. I will be interested to see in the show how they are brought together to be a team. I don't think I have anything else. I would show that the flashbacks of Dick seeing his parents die and then Bruce blah blah. Tied with the killing, I feel like they're making Bruce like a creepy like. The way that they're posing Bruce Wayne and Batman is like a character that breaks away from a villain was like, yeah, I was doing this really bad stuff, but I got away. Like, there's one point where he's crying and he's just like, it's just a hand. It's very like, I don't even know what effect they are using, but it's like, it's very, it's flashback. It's not black and white at all, but it's like, it's very gold and tingy. Like, it just looks like it's like someone's memory in a way. But just the fact they're using it, and then he like puts his hand on Dick's shoulder, he's like, I can help you out, or there's a way to help you out. And it just feels like they're making him like a villain. And yeah, sure, maybe the show could do that, but that'd be, wow, how exciting would that be? Batman's gonna be our villain. But yeah, so that's Titans. I think I said I was supposed to give it a 7.5. Yeah, I'd give it a 7.5. I really enjoyed it, but I don't know if it's gonna be a show. I'm definitely gonna watch the next episode. I think I will at least watch the season. I don't know if it's going to be enough for me, like I said, to stay on DC Universe, if I'll pay monthly to watch it weekly, or if I'll just watch the whole thing. I enjoyed it, but nothing that is screaming out that I need to be like, hey, you need to go watch the show. If you enjoy Titans, if you enjoy those characters, I think you need to watch the same reason as I will at least some point watch this entire show, because Robin is in my top 10 for favorite characters, and I've been waiting to see some Robin live action stuff for a while. So yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I think the next time I talk about Titans will likely be, maybe I will do some for episode 2, because next week's Daredevil, so sorry. I think I'll likely maybe review the whole, I'd say there's a 50-50 shot I review the whole season when it's over. I really do. So that's next time I talk about. If not, I'll talk about GeekVerse News. You can always check that out. We had a great episode last week. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please subscribe on SoundCloud, iTunes, Podbay, YouTube, the whole shebang. Like, review, that helps us grow the channel. If you really like what we do, head over to Patreon. We got exclusive episodes up there for the Spider-Man Retro, the Clone Wars Retro, which is not aired in public yet. Daredevil Retro, that's coming out next week, but if you want early for a dog, you can listen to that, and that is a really good episode. So, yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and when you hear from me next, it'll not be boring. Oh, you see that? My thumb, it's probably fucking broken.